Do you jump on backlines and complain when you die? Do you struggle to kill players and win duels? Do you find yourself often saying, I wish I would have gotten more help there? If any of that sounds like you're probably pretty shit at the game. One of the players that I believe we have the most to learn from in this game is Donghak. Donghak is the tank for a Korean team named T1 who's been on a recent tear through OWCS in their region. The question I want to try and answer today is why can Donghak jump on pro players and kill them, and you can't jump on Masters players and kill them? When you watch gameplay closely, the answer is pretty obvious. Donghak is significantly better than you and basically everyone else at outplaying his opponent. What I mean by outplaying here specifically is your opponent is trying to not die when you're trying to kill them. Predicting what they're going to do and how they're going to do it lets you outplay this person. A lot of the first examples we're going to look at are on a brig backlines. If I want to outplay an on a brig backline, there's a couple things I need to outplay. The brig whip shot, the brig bash, the on a sleep, the on a nade are the big four. If the Ash is there, I might also need to outplay the coach gun and just some general damage. In the first example here, Donghak is defending a retake. He knows the backline's about to walk through and he wants to stall them, maybe use Primal to kill someone if he can. However, just looking at this, it's obvious that there's a lot to outplay here. The backline is basically stacked together, they're going to use all their cooldowns on you, and it's going to be pretty easy for them. So if I'm Donghak, how do I get a kill through all of this? Let's quickly just watch it and then we'll break it down. So if you're trying to VOD yourself, or maybe someone showed this to you, or you were watching it live, you might deceptively believe that didn't look that hard. The reason for that is because you're not catching a lot of the things that are going on. Let's go back. The biggest tool you have to catch how someone is being outplayed is to watch the enemy POV. The first part of outplaying it on a brig backline is always dodging the sleep. If you look here at the way Donghak falls when he's dropping on Shu, he drops his bubble on top of him and falls to the side of his bubble. This is the first step in making the sleep hard to hit. The second step in outplaying sleep is when your bubble is about to break. Good Anas will try and sleep you inside your bubble, and if you don't go inside of it, they'll just break your bubble together and try to sleep you when the bubble is broken. The way Donghak outplays this is by jumping away right before the bubble gets broken so he's not able to get slept. The next piece of outplay comes from Lip here. After outplaying the sleep and forcing a few brig packs, he's going to primal and go for Lip. The only thing left to outplay here is the coach gun. A pretty simple piece of micro when you're trying to outplay a boop, either a brig whip or an Ash or a Lucio, is to just walk towards them, try to get them to use your boop on you, and then to jump after the boop has been used. Here we see Jumpin' save his jump and just walk at Lip baiting the coach gun, and after it's been baited, he jumps at him. At this point, the kill is basically impossible for Lip to avoid. The reason you might find yourself thinking this wasn't that difficult is because looking at any one of these pieces of outplay in isolation really isn't that difficult. The difficult part is putting all of them together back to back and doing them all correctly. If you messed up at any point, it might look more like your gameplay. The next example is pretty similar. Let's watch it once and then break it down.
The objective is mine. Help me.
Clear the way.
Hopefully now you're starting to see a little bit of what's going on. The first outplay is the brig whip. This is a pretty common piece of monkey tech, but just using your bubble to block the whip shot as you're jumping onto a piece of high ground is a really important piece of tech. He's able to get on high ground and knock Chorong off, which is really important. The second outplay comes on the sleep dart. Dancing the side of the bubble and keeping your eye on the Ana to see when he's walking into the bubble will allow you to dodge his sleep here.
Help me.
Now the next piece of outplay is a little bit less obvious, but I mentioned it in the one before as well. If you're trying to kill supports, the biggest problem is that they'll heal each other. One of the most powerful and least flashy things you can do to kill supports is just to fight them for a long time and drain their healing resources. Here Chorong's already given a pack to Shu on the first part of the jump. Here he has to give another one. Here he has to give one to Lip. When you fight supports for a long time, after outplaying both of these cooldowns, just sit above them and zap them, they run out of healing. This is a small but important part that means Shu does not get a pack here when he drops on him. So if you're watching a VOD, look for this part. Donghak jumps on Shu here and kills him. That looks pretty easy, you might say to yourself. Go back 20 seconds and watch everything that happened before, all the cooldowns. How did they get outplayed? Because you could do this part of it if you got to here. Figuring out how you can get to here is the important part. The last one from this map is a pretty similar backline kill. Let's just watch it.
You're powered up. Get in there. When me on the wettest.
First, he's just being patient, and he waits for Shu to come out and throw a nade. You don't have to do this, but Shu not having nade here in the room is pretty important. Next, instead of walking into the room, he's going to outplay the Brig by jumping over behind. The Brig's not going to get to whip him away, it's going to be way harder to sleep him, and it's just a better setup in general. After jumping and bubbling here, he's going to do something we've seen him do a couple times already. He's going to keep his eye on the Ana, and the second the Ana tries to walk into the bubble to sleep him, he's going to jump and boop the Ana out of the bubble, mess up his sleep.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Here on Runesapi, we're going to see a little bit of a different matchup. He's playing Hazard into an Orisa comp that's pretty difficult to dive. So how are we going to outplay these people on the engage? The first part of outplaying people on Hazard is deciding how you're going to engage. A lot of players I know would just turn this corner, slash in, and then after they die, they would complain they're not getting healed enough. What you're going to see Donghak do is climb over the wall, jump over the Orisa, and immediately get to the backline. After getting a slash on the BAP, he's going to use his wall to wall the TP off and stop Shu from TPing out. Doesn't look fun, does it? After this, Donghak switches to ball. Here we're going to see him try and engage on the cast Lucio Kiri backline. Instead of nade, sleep, and coach gun, we're now trying to outplay Lucio Boop, Flashbang, and Suzu. Instead of having a monkey bubble to outplay this, the tool we have on ball is a grapple. If you've learned anything from the previous fights, you'll realize that reaching for these kills right away is going to be pretty hard. Instead of grappling and slamming, what we're going to do instead is grapple and spin around to take some visual attention and try to bait this boop and this flashbang if we can. After doing that, we can slam and try and reach for some kills. Now, Chorong does a really good job of holding his boop here, so the boop doesn't get outplayed, but Lip's flash does get outplayed here. Let's watch from his PV. Baiting this flashbang keeps him alive, and the 3 or so seconds of visual attention he takes just from grappling and spinning around allows Zest and Proud to both get free angles on this engage and start killing people. After a bit, Lip is tired of getting his flashbang baited, and he switches to Sombra. Now the biggest outplayed tools are avoiding the Sombra hack, which you can do just by shooting him if he tries to hack you, and outplaying the Lucio Boop in the same way as before. Unfortunately, grappling onto something and spinning around for fun is a lot less useful against Sombra because sometimes she can just hack you through it. Now the biggest outplayed tool you have is being hard to find on the engage before you get the slam off. If we watch this fight from Lip's POV, let's see if we can spot where Donghak is. Did you catch that? Let's try from Chorong's POV.
Catch these healing waves. What's up? I'm feeling good.
Let's watch from overhead.
Enemy forward spawn room deactivated.
There's absolutely zero way to boop or hack this jump without just dying to Frey spam the neutral. Pretty similar fight happens 1 minute after. Let's watch Chorong's POV and see if we can find Donghak.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Did you catch that? For one bonus fight, sometimes the best piece of micro you can have is just good aim. Let's watch this fight from Aiden's POV. In conclusion, if you want to get better at killing people, if you want to get better at dueling people, you need to learn how to outplay them. It's not just about what you're doing with your CDs, it's not just about landing your shots. How are they going to try and outplay you, and how are you going to be one step ahead of them? Especially if you're a tank or a DPS player trying to get better, watch back your own codes from the enemy POVs of the people that you're jumping on or trying to duel. What are they doing to you? Did it work? And could you have outplayed it?